Talent is a gift, but it is never enough on its own. This is the central message of John Maxwell's talent is never enough. In every field, we see people with extraordinary natural ability who never reach their potential. At the same time, others with seemingly average talent rise to remarkable levels of achievement. The difference, Maxwell argues, isn't talent, it's the choices we make around that talent. Talent is only a starting point, not a finish line. Natural ability may open the door, but it is the decisions, disciplines, and character we bring to that talent that determine how far we can truly go. When talent stands alone, it is unpredictable, inconsistent, and easily wasted. But when talent is combined with the right attitudes and actions, it becomes a powerful engine for lifelong growth and meaningful success. Maxwell identifies 14 qualities, what he calls the talent plus factors, that turn raw ability into something far greater. These qualities include belief, passion, initiative, focus, preparation, practice, perseverance, courage, teachability, character, relationships, responsibility, teamwork, and tenacity. Each one multiplies talent's impact and helps it endure through challenges, failures, and changing seasons of life. This audiobook summary explores these 14 qualities and shows how, together, they form a blueprint for maximizing your potential. You will discover why talent alone is never the deciding factor, and how the right choices can unlock capabilities you never realized you had. Chapter 1. Belief lifts your talent. Belief is the first force that lifts talent from potential to performance. You can have extraordinary ability, strong skills, and all the opportunity in the world, but without belief in yourself, your talent remains grounded. Belief is the internal engine that gives you permission to try, to stretch, and to grow. It is the factor that transforms what you could do into what you actually do. John Maxwell argues that the most successful people are not always the most talented. Often, they are simply the ones who believe the most strongly in their capacity to succeed. Belief creates momentum. When you believe you can do something, you begin to move toward it. You take action, you make decisions with confidence, and you attract resources and people that support your direction. Belief pushes you forward even before you have the full skill set. It allows you to start imperfectly, learn quickly, and build capability along the way. People with belief see possibilities. They look at challenges and ask, how can this work? They see opportunity where others see obstacles. In contrast, people who lack belief automatically narrow their field of vision. They see only limitations, and those limitations become their reality. Two individuals may have the same talent, yet the one who believes will act boldly, while the one who doubts will hold back. Over time, their lives diverge, not because of talent, but because of belief. Maxwell describes what can be called the self-belief cycle. Belief creates confidence. Confidence leads to action. Action produces progress. Progress reinforces belief. And the cycle begins again, each round strengthening your momentum. This is why belief is so powerful. It multiplies itself. When you step out with even a small amount of confidence, a positive result appears. That result, no matter how small, proves to you that growth is possible. And with that proof, your belief expands. Over time, belief becomes a personal advantage that pushes you further than talent alone ever could. Developing belief is not about pretending or ignoring reality. It isn't blind optimism. It is choosing to see your potential as real and worth pursuing. It is trusting that talent grows through effort and that setbacks are part of the journey, not signs that you should stop. The takeaway from this chapter is simple and foundational. You must believe you can before talent proves you will. The level of belief you hold sets the ceiling for what your talent can achieve. When you lift your belief, you lift your talent, and you open the door to everything that comes next. Chapter 2. Passion energizes your talent. If belief lifts talent, passion fuels it. Passion is the emotional fire that gives talent energy, direction, and endurance. Without passion, even the most gifted individuals struggle to stay consistent. They may shine for a moment, but they rarely last. Passion is what converts talent from something you can do into something you must do, something that pulls you forward even when the journey becomes difficult. John Maxwell emphasizes that talent alone is never enough because talent wavers. There are days when motivation is low, when progress is slow, and when obstacles seem overwhelming. Passion is the force that stabilizes you through these moments. It gives your talent staying power. Passion turns fatigue into determination, frustration into creativity, and setbacks into lessons. It is the spark that keeps your commitment alive. People with passion also have sharper focus. Passion helps you filter out distractions because you know what truly matters. When you care deeply about something, you naturally allocate more time, more effort, and more attention to it. Passion keeps your mind aligned with your goals and pushes you to do the things others aren't willing to do. It increases your resilience by giving purpose to the struggle, and that purpose becomes a powerful source of strength. Passion also inspires others. It is contagious. When people see someone pursuing their talent with genuine enthusiasm, they are drawn to that energy. Here, talent becomes more than a personal asset, it becomes an influence. Passionate people lift the people around them, attract support, and create momentum within teams and organizations. But passion must be authentic. Many people confuse excitement with passion, or follow paths others expect of them. Maxwell encourages readers to identify what truly sparks their inner drive. To do this, pay attention to the activities that make time feel shorter, the subjects you pursue without being asked, the challenges you enjoy solving, and the goals that make you feel alive. True passion often appears where your curiosity, joy, and natural strengths meet. When you discover your authentic passion, you unlock a reservoir of energy that talent alone cannot provide. Talent may set the stage, but passion determines how long you stay in the game and how far you are willing to go. The takeaway is clear. Passion turns talent from a casual interest into a lifelong pursuit. When your talent is energized by passion, you don't just perform, you thrive, you grow, and you endure. Chapter 3. Initiative activates your talent. Talent, no matter how impressive, remains dormant until it is put into motion. Initiative is the spark that activates talent, the force that turns potential into progress. Without initiative, talent becomes passive, an unused resource, a quiet possibility left sitting on the shelf. Initiative is what separates those who talk about what they could do from those who actually step out and do it. John Maxwell highlights a truth seen across all fields of achievement. Successful people start before they feel fully ready. They understand that perfect conditions rarely, if ever, exist. Waiting for certainty, confidence, or the right moment leads to hesitation, and hesitation eventually becomes stagnation. Initiative means you move even when the outcome is unclear. You begin even when the path is not fully mapped. You trust that clarity often comes after action, not before it. At its core, initiative is about taking responsibility for your own progress. It is the decision to stop waiting for permission, approval, or ideal circumstances. Talented individuals sometimes fall into the trap of relying on their ability alone, believing opportunities will come to them, or assuming someone else will recognize their potential and open a door. But initiative shifts the mindset from passive expectation to active ownership. It says, I will create momentum. I will take the first step. I will move forward even if I start small. One of the biggest barriers to initiative is fear. Fear of failure, fear of being judged, fear of making mistakes. These fears often disguise themselves as procrastination, perfectionism, or endless planning. Maxwell reminds us that the greatest failures often come from failing to start, not from starting imperfectly. When you take initiative, you confront fear by acting in spite of it. You discover that failure is not final, it is part of the learning process. Each small action builds confidence and breaks the hold of anxiety. Initiative also requires overcoming uncertainty. Many people wait for more information, more direction, or more assurance, believing that once they know enough, they will act. But initiative recognizes that progress creates knowledge. Every step you take teaches you something. Every attempt moves you closer to clarity. Initiative turns uncertainty into discovery. When you practice initiative consistently, you give your talent room to breathe, expand, and express itself. Action reveals strengths you didn't know you had. It introduces you to people and opportunities you would never have met otherwise. Initiative creates momentum, and momentum is a powerful ally. Once it's built, it keeps carrying you forward. The takeaway from this chapter is simple yet profound. Nothing great happens until someone decides to begin. Talent becomes meaningful only when you activate it through action. Every breakthrough, every accomplishment, every moment of growth starts with a single decision: the decision to start. Chapter 4. Focus directs your talent. Talent becomes significantly more powerful when it is directed with focus. Focus is the discipline that channels your ability toward meaningful goals, rather than scattering your energy across too many directions. Without focus, even great talent becomes diluted, busy but ineffective, active but unproductive. Focus is what transforms raw ability into high-impact performance. John Maxwell explains that one of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to distinguish between priorities and opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere. They are appealing, they are flattering, and they often look like progress. But not every opportunity aligns with your purpose, and not every invitation deserves your time. Priorities, on the other hand, are the few essential things that actually move you toward your goals. They are the commitments that matter most. When you learn to differentiate the two, your talent gains direction. When you don't, your talent gets pulled in too many directions to make a meaningful impact. The danger of diluted effort is real and often subtle. It shows up when talented people say yes to too many projects, try to please too many people, or pursue too many ideas at once. They become stretched thin. Their energy is divided, their attention is scattered, and their results are inconsistent. Talent can open many doors, but without focus, you can easily walk through the wrong ones. Diluted effort produces average results, even in highly talented individuals. Focus requires the discipline to say no, not just to distractions or obviously poor choices, but sometimes to good things. Good opportunities, interesting ideas, and appealing tasks can still pull you away from what is essential. Maxwell encourages us to adopt the mindset that saying no to what is merely good allows us to say yes to what is truly great. The most successful people are not those who dabble in everything, but those who invest deeply in the few things that matter most. Developing focus also means narrowing your attention to your strengths and purpose. When you direct your talent toward a clear target, your efforts gain intensity and momentum. You think more clearly, work more efficiently, and achieve results more quickly. Focus brings alignment. Your time, your energy, and your talent begin working in the same direction. This alignment amplifies your impact. Staying focused in a world full of distractions requires continuous discipline. It means regularly reassessing your commitments, reminding yourself of your priorities, and eliminating activities that drain your attention without delivering value. Focus is not a one-time decision. It is a daily practice. The takeaway is straightforward and powerful. Focus turns talent into targeted, high-impact output. When you sharpen your attention and direct your energy intentionally, your talent achieves more in less time and with greater clarity. Focus doesn't just improve what you do, it elevates who you become. Chapter 5. Preparation positions your talent. Talent is most visible in the moment of performance, but its strength is built long before that moment ever arrives. Preparation is the quiet, often unseen discipline that positions talent to shine when it matters most. John Maxwell emphasizes that while talent can create opportunities, preparation ensures you are ready to make the most of them. The difference between those who excel and those who merely get by often comes down to one simple truth: winners prepare long before the moment of performance. They understand that success is rarely spontaneous. It is the result of steady work done privately, consistently, and intentionally. Whether in sports, business, leadership, or the arts, the people who stand out are the ones who rehearse, study, refine, and anticipate what is ahead. They do not rely on talent alone, they rely on readiness. Preparation also benefits from the power of compounding. Small, consistent efforts add up over time, creating mastery that cannot be faked or rushed. Each session of practice, each hour of learning, each review of details becomes part of a foundation that strengthens your talent. Many people underestimate this gradual accumulation because it doesn't produce immediate results. But preparation rewards patience. It quietly builds skills, habits, and confidence that eventually become noticeable and often extraordinary. Maxwell reminds us that preparation reduces fear. Much of the anxiety people feel before an important moment comes from uncertainty and lack of readiness. When you prepare thoroughly, you remove many of the unknowns. You know your material, you've rehearsed the scenarios, and you've strengthened your weaknesses. This sense of readiness calms the mind and allows talent to perform freely. Preparation does not eliminate pressure, but it equips you to thrive in it. Beyond reducing fear, preparation builds mastery. Mastery is not a product of talent alone. It is the result of deliberate, repeated engagement with your craft. Preparation allows you to refine techniques, internalize principles, and understand nuances that casual effort never uncovers. It deepens your relationship with your talent. Over time, what was once difficult becomes natural, and what was once intimidating becomes enjoyable. Making preparation a lifestyle changes everything. It shifts your mindset from reacting to opportunities to anticipating them. It transforms your work from sporadic effort into steady improvement. Prepared people are not just waiting for the right moment, they are creating it. The takeaway is clear and powerful. Talent improves when preparation becomes a lifestyle. Preparation positions you for success, elevates your performance, and allows your talent to express itself at its highest level. When you prepare fully, you give your talent the best possible stage to shine. Chapter 6. Practice sharpens your talent. Talent may give you a head start, but practice determines how far you go. John Maxwell emphasizes that natural ability improves dramatically with disciplined practice. Talent sets the foundation, but practice builds the structure. Without practice, talent remains undeveloped, full of potential but lacking refinement. With practice, however, talent becomes skill, and skill becomes excellence. Maxwell draws a crucial distinction between ordinary practice and deliberate practice. Ordinary practice is repetition without intention. It is doing the same thing over and over with little attention to improvement. Deliberate practice, on the other hand, is focused, purposeful, and strategic. It identifies specific weaknesses, sets clear goals, and requires full concentration. It pushes you beyond your comfort zone and challenges you to refine even the smallest details. Deliberate practice is not always enjoyable. It is demanding, but it is the engine of mastery. Through consistent, disciplined practice, several qualities emerge. First, accuracy improves. You make fewer mistakes and gain greater precision. Then speed develops. Not rushed or careless speed, but the natural quickness that comes from knowing something so well it becomes second nature. With accuracy and speed comes confidence, the quiet assurance that you can perform under pressure because you have prepared thoroughly. And as you grow more confident and more skilled, an unexpected benefit appears: creativity. When your fundamentals are strong, your mind is free to innovate, adapt, and create new possibilities. Maxwell reminds us that great performers are built, not born. The musicians who play with seemingly effortless brilliance, the athletes who move with extraordinary coordination, the leaders who make wise, timely decisions, these people have all spent countless hours practicing their craft. What looks like natural talent is often the result of thousands of hours of disciplined effort. Talent may make practice easier, but practice is what makes greatness possible. Repetition also plays a powerful role. Repetition refines excellence. The more often you perform a skill with intention, the more deeply it becomes wired into your mind and body. This process creates consistency. Talent without repetition is unpredictable. You might perform well one day and poorly the next. But talent strengthened by repetition becomes reliable and strong. Maxwell's message is clear. Practice is not optional for those who want to maximize their talent. It is essential. And it requires commitment, patience, and humility. The humility to accept that no matter how gifted you are, you can always improve. The takeaway from this chapter is simple and powerful. Practice turns talent into skill. Repetition refines excellence. The people who rise highest are not merely the most talented, They are the ones willing to practice with discipline, intention, and persistence. Through practice, your talent sharpens, strengthens, and ultimately shines. Chapter 7. Perseverance sustains your talent. Talent may open the door to opportunity, but perseverance is what keeps you moving through it. John Maxwell emphasizes that talent needs endurance to survive setbacks. Every meaningful pursuit involves obstacles, slow progress, unexpected challenges, and moments of discouragement. Those who rely on talent alone often falter when the journey becomes difficult. But those who cultivate perseverance continue forward when others stop. Perseverance is the internal force that keeps you moving even when results are slow. It provides the strength to press on when outcomes don't match effort, and when the path feels longer than expected. Many talented people expect quick success because things initially come easily. But real achievement, lasting achievement, requires the patience to endure seasons where growth is invisible and rewards are delayed. Perseverance allows you to persist through these dry periods, trusting that steady effort will eventually produce results. Maxwell highlights the close relationship between perseverance and grit. Grit is the combination of passion and persistence toward long-term goals. It is the resilience to withstand failures and the determination to rise again. People with grit view challenges differently than those who lack it. Rather than interpreting difficulties as signs to stop, they see them as part of the process. Grit transforms obstacles into training grounds, shaping character, discipline, and strength. Perseverance is the everyday expression of grit, showing up again and again, even when it's hard. One of the most striking insights Maxwell offers is that quitting early is the #1 reason talented people fail. Rarely do people fail because they lack ability. Most often, they fail because they give up too soon. They underestimate how long growth takes, how hard setbacks can feel, or how much resilience is required to reach the finish line. They stop just before the breakthrough, not realizing that persistence is the precise ingredient needed to unlock their next level of potential. Perseverance also shapes your relationship with failure. Instead of viewing failure as a verdict on your talent, perseverance teaches you to see failure as feedback. It shifts the focus from perfection to progress. Each setback becomes a lesson, each mistake a source of new understanding. Over time, this learning compounds, strengthening both your skill and your confidence. Perseverance builds a resilience that talent alone cannot offer. When perseverance becomes part of your character, you develop the ability to finish what you start. You follow through, you show up consistently, and you refuse to be deterred by temporary discomfort. This persistence becomes a competitive advantage, especially in environments where many people depend solely on talent and abandon their goals at the first sign of difficulty. The takeaway is powerful and unmistakable. Perseverance is the force that makes talent finish what it starts. It sustains your progress when inspiration fades and ensures that your talent not only begins strong but ends strong. With perseverance, your talent has the endurance to reach its full potential. Chapter 8. Courage tests your talent. Talent can take you far, but at every stage of growth, you will encounter a barrier that requires more than skill. It requires courage. John Maxwell emphasizes that courage is essential for talent to grow and express itself fully. Without courage, talent stays confined to what feels safe and familiar. With courage, talent expands, evolves, and reaches levels that once seemed impossible. Courage does not eliminate fear, it confronts it. Many people believe they must first feel unafraid before stepping forward, but Maxwell reminds us that courage is the act of moving through fear, not waiting for it to disappear. Every meaningful goal involves uncertainty. Every new challenge carries the possibility of failure. Yet courage says, even though I feel fear, I will act anyway. This mindset is what enables talented individuals to break through personal limitations and take the next step in their journey. Every advancement in life demands risk. Whether it's taking on a new role, pursuing a dream, sharing an idea, or developing a skill, growth always pushes you beyond your comfort zone. Talented people who avoid risk often plateau. They rely on what they already know, repeating the same actions and expecting new outcomes. But those who embrace risk discover new strengths, new opportunities, and new territory for their talent to flourish. Risk is not the enemy. It is the gateway to progress. Courage also empowers you to stand alone when necessary. There will be moments when your ideas are not immediately understood, when your decisions conflict with popular opinion, or when your path differs from those around you. Talent without courage conforms. Talent with courage leads. It takes bravery to follow your convictions, to pursue a calling others may not see, and to remain firm even when support is limited. This willingness to stand alone often becomes the defining trait of those who make a lasting impact. Innovation is another product of courage. The most creative breakthroughs come from people who dare to try something new, something untested. Innovation requires experimentation, and experimentation carries the real possibility of failure. But courageous individuals recognize that failure is not a final chapter. It is an essential step in the creative process. When you try, fail, adjust, and try again, your talent grows sharper, more resilient, and more adaptive. Courage also gives you the freedom to recover from setbacks. When you fail, and you will, courage encourages you to rise again. It protects you from the paralysis of embarrassment or disappointment. Instead of shrinking after a mistake, courageous people bounce back with new insight and renewed determination. This resilience strengthens talent in ways success alone never could. The takeaway from this chapter is transformational. Courage unlocks levels of talent you never knew existed. Your greatest abilities, innovations, and breakthroughs often lie on the other side of fear. When you choose courage over comfort, you give your talent the chance to expand beyond its limits and step into its fullest expression. Chapter 9. Teachability expands your talent. Talent grows only when you remain open to growth. John Maxwell emphasizes that a teachable spirit is essential to prevent talent from stagnating. No matter how skilled or accomplished you become, there is always more to learn, more to refine, and more to understand. Teachability is the mindset that keeps talent alive, active, and expanding. The greatest enemy of teachability is arrogance. When people believe they already know enough, their growth stops. Arrogance closes the door on new skills, new perspectives, and new opportunities. It blinds talented individuals to their weaknesses and prevents them from receiving feedback that could make them better. Maxwell warns that arrogance destroys potential, not because the person lacks talent, but because they refuse to evolve. Humility, on the other hand, multiplies potential. Humility acknowledges that no matter how much you know, there is always more to discover. It creates space for new insights and allows you to benefit from the wisdom of others. Humility is not self-doubt. It is the recognition that growth requires openness. Talent paired with humility becomes teachable, adaptable, and far more effective over time. One of the richest sources of learning comes from mentors, people who have already walked the path you hope to walk. Mentors provide guidance, perspective, and correction that you may not see on your own. But teachability also means learning from peers who offer collaboration and shared experience, and from critics who, even unintentionally, reveal blind spots and areas for improvement. Every person you encounter has the potential to teach you something if you maintain a teachable attitude. Teachability also involves learning from your own experiences. Successes and failures both carry lessons, but only a teachable person pays attention to them. Teachability means asking, "What can I learn from this?" instead of defending mistakes or excusing poor decisions. It means observing patterns, adjusting behaviors, and seeking continuous refinement. At its core, teachability is the willingness to be wrong, corrected, and improved. This can be uncomfortable. It requires vulnerability and the courage to admit that you don't have all the answers. But this willingness is what keeps your talent growing. People who are teachable improve faster, adapt better, and reach higher levels of mastery because they never allow their learning to stop. Teachability also makes you more approachable and more effective in relationships. People enjoy working with individuals who listen, who value feedback, and who are open to collaboration. Teachability strengthens teams, enhances leadership, and contributes to long-term success in any field. The takeaway from this chapter is simple yet powerful. Remaining teachable ensures your talent continues to grow. Teachability turns every situation into a classroom, every person into a teacher, and every experience into an opportunity. When you commit to lifelong learning, your talent never stops expanding, and neither does your potential. Chapter 10: Character protects your talent. Talent can open doors, create opportunities, and elevate you quickly. But once you arrive at the top, only character can keep you there. John Maxwell emphasizes that while talent may be a natural gift, character is always a choice that determines the sustainability of your success. Without strong character, even the most impressive talent eventually collapses under pressure. Talent dazzles. It gets people's attention. It may even grant you early success. But character determines whether people trust you, follow you, and continue to believe in you. Character provides stability to your talent. It ensures that your success is built on integrity rather than shortcuts, and on principles rather than convenience. Where talent accelerates your rise, character protects you from self-inflicted falls. Weak character is one of the leading causes of broken trust and collapsed success. We often see talented individuals experience rapid growth, only to lose everything because their character could not support the weight of their achievements. The issues vary: dishonesty, irresponsibility, arrogance, lack of discipline, but the outcome is the same. Talent can take you only so far without the foundation of strong character beneath it. Maxwell reminds us that people will forgive mistakes of skill more easily than failures of integrity. Character is expressed through everyday choices, especially when no one is watching. It is built through habits, decisions, and commitments. Maxwell highlights 3 essential qualities that strengthen character. Integrity is the first. Integrity means living truthfully, consistently, and ethically. It is doing the right thing even when it is difficult, unpopular, or unnoticed. Integrity builds trust, and trust is the currency of long-term influence. When people trust you, your talent has room to operate. When trust breaks, talent becomes irrelevant. Responsibility is the second. Responsible people take ownership of their actions. They follow through on commitments, admit mistakes, and learn from them. Responsibility reflects maturity. It signals reliability and steadiness, 2 qualities that enhance talent and increase opportunities. Authenticity is the third. Authentic leaders do not pretend to be someone they're not. They do not hide behind image, talent, or performance. Authenticity allows people to connect with you at a deeper level. When you are genuine, you create an environment where honesty, clarity, and meaningful relationships can thrive. Together, these qualities protect your talent by grounding it in something solid. Character expands your influence, strengthens your reputation, and ensures that your success is not fragile or temporary. It aligns your values with your actions, giving your talent a foundation that cannot be easily shaken. Maxwell's message is clear and timeless. Character is the foundation that prevents talented people from falling. Without it, talent eventually becomes unstable. With it, talent becomes durable, trusted, and capable of making a lasting impact. Talent may get you to the top, but only character has the power to keep you there. Chapter 11: Relationships influence your talent. No one succeeds alone. While talent is personal, its growth is profoundly shaped by the people around you. John Maxwell emphasizes that your relationships can either accelerate your talent or hinder it. The individuals you allow into your inner circle influence your mindset, your habits, your confidence, and ultimately your results. Talent flourishes in the right environment and withers in the wrong one. Maxwell teaches that you rise or fall to the level of your inner circle. The people closest to you have the greatest impact on your behavior and your belief system. If your inner circle is filled with people who are motivated, disciplined, and growth-minded, their energy lifts you. Their standards become your standards. Their habits influence your habits. But if your inner circle lacks ambition, avoids responsibility, or discourages growth, your own potential becomes limited. You naturally adapt to the expectations of those around you, for better or for worse. Supportive, honest, growth-minded relationships are essential for maximizing talent. These are the people who encourage you when you struggle, challenge you when you settle, and tell you the truth when you need to hear it. They celebrate your successes without jealousy and offer perspective when you make mistakes. Healthy relationships make you braver, stronger, and more consistent. They provide accountability, helping you stay aligned with your goals and pushing you to follow through on your commitments. In this kind of environment, talent has room to develop and thrive. The opposite is also true. Toxic environments drain potential. Negative, critical, or unhealthy relationships slowly erode your confidence and motivation. They distract you with drama, discourage your growth, and pull your focus away from what truly matters. Toxic relationships often demand your emotional energy without giving anything valuable in return. Over time, they can make talented individuals doubt themselves, lower their standards, or abandon their aspirations altogether. Recognizing the influence of relationships is not about judging others. It is about protecting your potential. Maxwell encourages us to intentionally choose the company we keep. Seek out people who inspire you, who model excellence, and who live with integrity. Surround yourself with individuals who challenge you to think bigger and grow stronger. At the same time, distance yourself from relationships that consistently harm your focus, your confidence, or your character. Healthy relationships do more than support your talent. They multiply it. They offer resources, ideas, collaboration, and encouragement that you could never access alone. Talent might be personal, but achievement is often collaborative. The people you walk with will determine the path you take and the speed at which you grow. The takeaway from this chapter is powerful. Choose relationships that bring out your best, not your worst. Your environment shapes your potential. When you surround yourself with the right people, your talent rises. When you surround yourself with the wrong people, your talent is suppressed. Be intentional, because your relationships will influence your destiny as much as your talent does. Chapter 12. Responsibility strengthens your talent. Talent may open doors, but responsibility determines what you do once you walk through them. John Maxwell emphasizes that talented people often fail not because they lack ability, but because they avoid responsibility. When you refuse to take ownership of your actions, decisions, and outcomes, your talent remains immature, full of potential but unable to support real influence. Responsibility begins with ownership. Ownership increases your influence because it signals maturity and reliability. When you take responsibility for your work, your choices, and even your mistakes, people know they can count on you. You become someone who follows through, someone who delivers, someone who can be trusted. This sense of accountability gives your talent a structure, a framework that allows it to grow into something bigger than yourself. Blame, however, weakens your control over outcomes. When you blame circumstances, people, or external factors, you hand over your power. Blame may feel easy in the moment, but it ultimately limits your growth. It prevents you from learning, adapting, and improving. Talented people who blame others remain stuck, repeating the same patterns because they refuse to recognize their role in the results they create. Responsible people, on the other hand, are entrusted with greater opportunities. Leaders notice individuals who take initiative, correct their mistakes, and accept challenges willingly. Responsibility is a signal that you are ready for more influence, more complexity, more impact. This is how talent transforms into leadership. Responsibility expands your capacity and prepares you for greater roles, whereas avoiding responsibility keeps your talent small and contained. Maxwell's message is clear. Responsibility strengthens talent by maturing it. It teaches discipline, humility, and consistency. It builds trust and credibility, and it positions you for long-term success rather than short-term performance. The takeaway from this chapter is simple yet profound. Taking responsibility allows talent to mature into leadership. When you own your actions and outcomes, your talent gains direction, purpose, and influence. Responsibility is not a burden. It is the key that unlocks your next level of growth. Chapter 13. Teamwork multiplies your talent. Talent is powerful, but its greatest impact is realized when combined with the talents of others. John Maxwell emphasizes that collaboration expands what any one person's talent can achieve alone. No matter how gifted you are, your potential grows exponentially in the presence of a strong team. Teamwork multiplies talent. It extends your reach, enhances your strengths, and compensates for your weaknesses. Maxwell captures this truth with a simple phrase: one is too small a number to achieve greatness. History's most significant achievements, whether in science, business, sports, or art, were rarely accomplished by individuals working in isolation. Greatness requires collective effort, aligned purpose, and the blending of diverse strengths. Even extraordinarily talented people need others to help them stretch, refine, and execute their vision. One of the greatest advantages of teamwork is the diversity of strengths. When people with different gifts, perspectives, and experiences come together, the group becomes far more capable than any single member. One person may excel in strategy, another in execution, another in creativity, and another in communication. These differences are not obstacles, they are assets. Diverse strengths amplify results, creating outcomes that surpass what any individual could have produced on their own. But teamwork doesn't just happen, it requires intentional effort. Trust is the foundation. Without trust, communication becomes guarded, collaboration becomes strained, and progress slows. Trust allows team members to rely on each other, admit weaknesses, and contribute freely. Communication is equally essential. Teams thrive when information flows openly, when feedback is constructive, and when everyone clearly understands their role. Effective communication ensures that energy is directed toward shared objectives rather than confusion or conflict. Finally, shared goals unify the team. When everyone is aligned around a common purpose, individual talent becomes coordinated talent. Unity of direction creates momentum, and momentum creates results. Shared goals help team members stay focused, supportive, and committed to collective success, even when personal preferences differ. Maxwell notes that when teamwork is strong, weaknesses become manageable and strengths become magnified. Teams provide encouragement when motivation dips, perspective when clarity fades, and solutions when challenges arise. Working with others also accelerates learning. Every interaction is an opportunity to grow. In this way, teamwork transforms talent. It takes what you can do and multiplies it through the abilities of others. Collaboration does not diminish your individual contribution, it elevates it. Through teamwork, talent becomes influence, and effort becomes impact. The takeaway from this chapter is powerful. Teamwork transforms individual talent into collective success. If you want to go fast, you may go alone. But if you want to go far, you must go with others. Talent is a starting point. Teamwork is the force that multiplies it into something extraordinary. Final words on talent. One truth stands above all the others. Talent is only the beginning. It is a gift, something you receive. But everything that determines what that gift becomes is shaped by your choices, your character, and your actions. Talent is potential, not destiny. What you choose to add to your talent is what transforms your life. Throughout this book, John Maxwell has shown that talent alone is never enough to guarantee success. The world is full of talented people who never reach their potential, not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked the qualities that elevate ability: belief, passion, initiative, focus, preparation, practice, perseverance, courage, teachability, character, relationships, responsibility, teamwork, and tenacity. These talent plus qualities are not inherited. They are chosen, developed, and strengthened over time. The message is empowering. Your talent's growth is in your hands. You don't have to be the most gifted. You don't have to start with the greatest advantage. What matters is your willingness to cultivate the attitudes and disciplines that maximize your natural strengths. Every day, you have the opportunity to add something to your talent, to grow your character, expand your skills, and shape a future that reflects your best self. Maxwell reminds us that success built on talent alone is fragile. It may rise quickly, but it rarely lasts. Success built on strong choices, however, becomes stable, meaningful, and influential. When you combine talent with values, effort, and perseverance, you create momentum that can carry you through challenges and open doors you never imagined. In the end, the question is not how much talent do you have? The real question is, what will you do with the talent you have? Your talent is a starting point, but your choices determine the finish line. With intention, integrity, and consistent growth, you can elevate your talent to its highest level and live a life of excellence, purpose, and lasting impact. Conclusion: talent is a gift, but maximizing it is a choice. Natural ability may give you a head start, but the decisions you make, day after day, determine how far that ability will take you. John Maxwell reminds us that talent alone rarely leads to greatness. What truly elevates your potential are the qualities you add to your talent. Throughout this book, we explored the 14 Talent Plus qualities that strengthen, expand, and sustain natural ability. Belief gives talent confidence. Passion energizes it. Initiative activates it. Focus directs it. Preparation positions it. Practice sharpens it. Perseverance sustains it. Courage tests it. Teachability expands it. Character protects it. Relationships influence it. Responsibility strengthens it. Teamwork multiplies it. And tenacity carries it to its highest level. Together, these qualities form a blueprint for transforming raw talent into meaningful achievement. They turn potential into progress, promise into performance, and ability into influence. What makes this message powerful is that each of these qualities is within your control. You do not need more talent to grow, you need more intention. Maxwell's thesis is both simple and deeply empowering. Your talent is not your destiny. Your choices are. Every improvement you make, every discipline you strengthen, and every attitude you adopt expands what your talent can achieve. So here is your call to action. Choose one Talent Plus trait to strengthen today. Maybe it's courage. Maybe it's focus. Maybe it's perseverance, teachability, or responsibility. Whatever it is, make the decision to cultivate it intentionally. Small, consistent choices create extraordinary long-term change. Talent is a gift. What you build with it is your gift back to the world. Start today, grow your talent, protect it, elevate it, and let it carry you toward the life you were meant to create.